Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Pino here, fixing to do a off-season testing number 2. We're going to be running Nimrod and Havoc, both rank 4s, and Rolk, who I awakened recently, and I went on to take him to rank 3. Never had a 6-star rank 3, and he's going to get some action today. I really called out Path 9 by default. It is what it is. Went on and slapped on a 20% boost. I had some that were expiring, so I went on and burned one, try to simulate some of what the round would look like. Now, I've never fought a Shuri, whatever the hell her name is. And she had this shock thing going. I actually thought about running Havoc because the shocks would have fed his kit, and I didn't. I went on ahead and said, well, let me use Rolk. I haven't really used him in a long time, and that was my 5-star. Now that I have a 6-star rank 3, let's see what he can do. The heat charges are going to be going through the roof. I'm going to play it safe because I couldn't duel. I couldn't duel her. I don't have her. And definitely wasn't familiar with her animations, and it's been a little bit since EQ last time I faced her. So all I'm trying to do is, I don't know, man. I'm not a Rolk master. But just in case I ever have to take Path 9 Section 1, I definitely need to brush up on Rolk skills, period. So as you can see here, I mean, he's getting her down. Like I said, I'm going to take block damage off the specials. I really wanted to see, what this fight was about, considering I've never faced her, and it's going pretty well. Not much else to say other than, I'll let you finish out the fight, and then we'll get into the next one. Yeah, I mean, like I said, pretty basic from what it seems like using Rolk. Now, this next fight was interesting. Unsteady ground. Mr. Negative doesn't have a lot of debuffs, but I've seen some issues with just having a debuff on you, period. Everything's going to glance. So, yeah, just wanted to really see, okay, how's this going to work? Can Rolk get it done? I definitely think if there's other defenders there that are unsteady ground, Rolk is not going to be a good counter for this fight. But anyway, you get to see. I mean, he's going to do some damage. Now, I will say this. I don't ever have an issue fighting Mr. Negative if I have, like, my normal perfect counters for this fight. And the reason why I say that is man, every now and then, boom, look at that. See that? You get that little reverse control little mechanism, and then, I'll go back, and then next thing you know, I blitz in, and I'm taking one to the face. So, yeah. Okay. But Rolk being Rolk with the heat charges, and, again, not having to worry about too many debuffs. I mean, he's right there in the fight. I definitely think if I was probably bigger boosted, made sure I went on ahead and sharpened up my Mr. Negative skills in regards to playing against him, this fight would have went a lot smoother. I eat an SP1 right there. Again, not the cleanest play at all. But I'm testing, man. So, I'm not going to complain too much. I did see enough to say, hey, if there was one place there, he would work well. And that's all she wrote. He goes down, could have had a healthier bar. Definitely could have played a lot cleaner, but hey, again, hey, man, it's why you do it in off season. You can make stupid mistakes, and it's not going to eat your lunch. So this fight here, lesson learned, I should have used Rolk. But I fought a lot of Killmongers from last season, and I really wanted to test something here just in case of, let's say you couldn't bring all these champs you wanted to. and you had to narrow it down. Now, can Havoc do this fight? Yeah, but you're about to see why I don't think, it's probably the best idea. Now, you're going to see coming up. Notice, every time you parry, anytime those debuffs start to kick in, those plasmas, he's going to gain power. And he's got 50%, 50% less of powers. The power will be used when he uses an SP. And he's firing SP2s. The charges are racking up. You've got to hit that and get it down. The other thing is, I don't like his heavy. His heavy's got that double hit, and it's kind of slow delay. And you're going to see, boom, I'm going to take one to the face. And it's going to get to the point where I'm just going to be desperate to create space. He fires back another SP2. I'm going to come off the wall, and you see the power. The power gain is just ridiculous. It doesn't help that he's not burning all that power. And then you're going to watch here in a second, like the parry, the plasma is all going to time up really, really wrong. It doesn't help I take another heavy. I just kind of fire the SP2 to do what I can because I know I'm dead. SP3, you're dead. Now, here's why I say Rulk. Again, I am not a Rulk ninja. But when I was dueling, I noticed I wasn't taking any reverb. And, I don't know, man. Call it just, let's just see. Let's just see if I can get, his power in check with baiting and staying off the wall. And it just didn't happen. We're going to see right now. I mean, Rulk's going to just get in there and just smash this dude. Class disadvantage and all. Had a buddy tell me, bro, you should have just used Rulk. You would have soloed it. But I didn't. And looking at how this is going, yeah, if I would have used him, I would have soloed Killmonger. But it is what it is. And he should be going down. I like to call this the one that got away. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but it didn't. And we're going to move on. Now, this next fight, we were in a stall. It's kind of why I was struggling which path I was going to take. I wanted to take path 3 and try something with some different chance. But we had 2 fights that were, real tricky. Now, this Havoc, the node is why I wanted to run Havoc against this Arcus. Now, the armor break and all the other stuff that he's got in his normal kit, it's like, again, kind of like that Killmonger, except he doesn't have that 50% power. If I get him to throw his SP1 and just kind of play it safe, I will get this guy down. Now, because he's an unsteady ground defender, that's somewhat of a problem, but the plan is to get to the SP3 to nuke. And really what I'm paying attention to in here is his power. I mean, I'm even dexing right now and moving back at times. I'm not even looking. I'm kind of using, I guess you could say, my peripheral. But what it is as I get closer to this SP3, I want to make sure that my debuffs are sticking. And as long as they're sticking, it's a pretty good sign for me, as well as I'm looking at my bar to say, okay, hey, you're good to throw the SP3 and it won't glance. And watch this damage. Just how I planned it. Now, I'm not running power back boost or anything like that. I don't think I am. I might have been running, actually I take that back. I was running the small one. And it's because I'm going to take this Nick Fury next too. And I mean, look, he's playing how I need him to play. And boom, SP3, he's done. He's done. That's a solo in the bag. Game over. Now, we're going to get ready to get into this next one. And this was a fight. You see me. I'm going in with 5% health. It's off season. I didn't come out of that Arcus fight well. If it was season, I would have healed up. And as before, this is rooted. I would have soloed this fight. But I don't. It's going to take me 2 times. But you get to kind of see, hey, Havoc with a Nick Fury there. Considering he's unsteady ground and considering that he is Havoc's debuff detox, he's a good counter for this fight. I mean, it probably would help if you had a Wags placed there to kind of help with, you know, the parry situation, the extra damage in case you get rooted and you're not having to rely on double parry. But you're going to see, I mean, he's fixing to go down. Well, I'm fixing to be the one to go down. But when I go back in for this next one, it's going to be, you know, and I want to say I had some level 3 team revives that I probably haven't used in like 3, 4 seasons. And I don't remember how I got them, but I got them and I never used them. And I was like, you know what? It's a good time to use them because I am going to use Rulk later for another fight on a test fight that doesn't go well. So, yeah, why not? I think there was a delay from my first couple of fights, and I ended up putting on a boost. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that meant I didn't have a boost when I fought the Arcus, and I thought I did. And I didn't even have, it looks like the power back boost either. And I put it on for this one. So try to simulate. I've got the items to do it. It's not going to hurt me. We got 4 weeks vacation time before next season starts. So, you know, round 2, right? He's got a little bit of life, but he's still on the first life, and I'm fixing to go back in. And, you know, the name of the game is try to get to the SP3. Now, you just saw there, I got rooted, and I came out of the root. And I don't know if it's because of the debuff detox interaction. I don't know. I've had some other guys mention that, you know, they took this fight as well in past off-season rounds, and it seemed like the debuff detox got them out of it. They don't know. But hey, we're going to watch this SP3. God, man, I love Havoc's SP3. You want to talk about it can get you out of a bind. This can get you out of a bind. Now, because he's benefiting from the tactic, man, his health pool is even bigger. And man, you're gonna see this dude is just super, super tanky. Now, what I did like about this node is that he gains power pretty fast to the SP2 to 2 bars, and then after that he kind of tanks. Well, that kind of plays perfect. And the reason why I say that is because you really want him to throw the SP2 versus the SP1 in the tactical charges. Now, I'm going to say this SP3. The plan is to get him down and wait for that thing to stop ticking, okay? And I want to make sure that my debuffs stick. That's why. You see it just came on. I'm not glancing anymore. And I'm going to throw it. And we're going to get to watch this handiwork, you know, on a rank 4 Havoc. You know, great damage, power back. You know, I'm not at 2 bars. I got little one, but I did get some power back. And I think this is when I just go ahead and throw the SP2 just to go ahead and nuke them down. If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Looks like I am. And he went unblockable because of the bubble shield. That was another problem in this fight, too. But I knew if I got clipped in the bleed, the plasma detonates would come back. And roasted, toasted. Another fight I could have soloed. Let's just say if it was seasoned and I boosted up. All right. Nothing special here. This domino was on 26. It had conflictor. I did not want a Wags, and the reason being is to get the parry to line up with nipping the conflictor on, and then that way when I throw the SP2 will be safe to throw. That was the fight strategy, right? Parry, easily get 10 armor up, and then start doing the hit because he's on hazard. She's on hazard shift. Was just parry until it switches to bleed, and then start wrecking, to start getting power. And this fight really, I mean, even if she clips me, man, this is This is a mutant domino against this rank 4 Sig 200 Nimrod. You shouldn't die. No way in the world should you die. You know, and that's what my thought process was. Boom, there it is, and you see the damage, man. Jesus. I mean, who doesn't think Nimrod is, you know, I mean, I get it. People are like, Ghost, yeah, I got it. But when it comes to some of these niche fights with a Nimrod, there's just no way he's not perfect. I want to say I took some shock damage just to get, you know, try to get a couple more bars of power, really just to make sure I kept some spacing. And I've got to use Nimrod for another fight coming up, which is a Toad. And I'm going to play it the same way, you know, parry, wait till it switches to bleed, and then get to the SP2, fire it off. All right, fight's in the bag, no issues, we're moving on. Now, these next two fights, one of them's going to be just like Nick Fury and just like that Killmonger. Should have had the solo, but I didn't. And I didn't because, well, I was a little bit tipsy, and I don't know, man. I was hitting the SP3 button, and it doesn't work. You see the amount of health I have, and I didn't care. I don't care because it's off season. Now, plan is to hit the shocks, let those shocks just eradicate. You see the plasma detonate, man. Look at it do work. Now, I could play this much slower, but you know, with Overseer, man, I just, that dude starts hitting you, man. It can just get bad really, really fast, especially if he manages to get into cosmic mode, even with the block damage. And I didn't have a lot of life. But you're going to see, I mean, a lot of that's plasma detonations from the shocks kicking in and on Havoc's kit, and then just feeding me, man. It's just, then there's the cosmic. Now watch what's going to happen here. You know, he's got that auto block, so you can really hit once, and then if you're slick enough, you can actually throw a light and still recover in time where he doesn't counter you. Now, I'm hitting SP3. I'm hitting SP3. I'm hitting SP3. Don't know what happened. I only had about, I think, 2 bourbons. So I don't know. Off season, thank goodness. If it was season, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have had the 2 bourbons and wouldn't have had that mistake. But we're going to come back in and we're going to clean this fight up, and then we'll move on to the Toad. And I guess this was the fight I used the SP2 on. All right, so we are in another fight here using Nimrod. Again, nothing fancy. Hazard shift, Nerza Steel. But I'm going to show something with this Nerza Steel, man. If there's a mutant there and you use Nimrod and it's not a Bishop, because he's just not a good counter for Bishop, Nimrod isn't. He could have 5, 6, 7, I don't know. He could probably even have 8, 10 armors. It ain't going to matter. It is not going to matter. Just parry, build the armors, start building the power to get to your SP2. Watch this. He's at 2 armors. He's going to get even higher. He's at 3. I'm just trying to get to the SP2. I'm in bleed because I'm trying to get all the power I can. Shock. Now I have to kind of back away. And at this point, I can't even tell you why I'm not. I think maybe it's because I wanted to wait for it to be bleed. I don't know, man. I can't tell you. But I'm about to fire this thing. Nuked him. Nuked him with the armor up. Crazy. All right. I take 2 more fights and it doesn't go well, and I'm going to use Rolk. I took Void on 49. Man, I think it took me like 3 revives to get him down. But I wanted to test this fight because Rolk's poison immune. But I wanted to see if what kind of damage could he do against Rolk? I mean, not Rolk, but IA Bomb, depending on where he's placed. And I've seen some crazy placements. I don't know if it's because of, P2, but wanted to see, hey, man, and this wasn't the best fight because of the node. He's going to gain power much faster as the fight goes on. When I get 1 bar of power, he gets the Fury. He'll get the Precision if I get the 2 and so forth. But the big thing was this. His Petrify debuff lasts forever. It lasts forever, and he's gaining power, and he's constantly refreshing this thing. And so what's happening? I'm just going to glance. Every now and then, my red numbers will come through. But it's just not enough, because I'm poison immune. You see me, man, I sat there and I regened up. And I'm like, that was another reason I was kind of like, let's see. But I guess I got too Rolk happy. Me having him rank 3, I just did him like a couple of days before I did this video. And yeah, not good for IA Bomb. Not good at all. Now, maybe if he's on a normal node and he's not getting, all this stuff that's on, I think this is 46. He probably could work. It'd be a long-ass fight, though. But, it wasn't. And that's it. Subscribe if you like.